Everyone's losing their minds. Losing them. Why? Why are they losing their minds? Who? The corporations, baby, they're losing their minds. Tech companies, car companies, all of them, the government. It's fantastic. Fantastic to see. You love to see it. Why? What is the reason? What is the causation? Well, I'm here to give you my take, my opinion, my thesis statement, rather. Come in close. Come here, come here. I'll tell you. I'll tell you. You want me to tell you? I tell you. There's nothing left to sell. There's no one to sell it to. Everything's we've maxed out. We've maxed it all out. Nothing can get any better. Not anytime soon. Let me give you an example. When is the last time your iPhone changed? In a meaningful way. In a meaningful way. How has the iPhone changed? Look, this is the iPhone 10. iPhone 17. 10. 17. Little slab of glass and metal. Doing just about all the same things it ever did. Now, what does it have? What does it have to offer? How many years later? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What's the difference? NFC, got it. Bluetooth, has it. Good cameras. Selfie camera, fantastic. What is the difference in usability? That goes for most of these devices. Don't worry. I'm gonna shit on Android as well. For those wishing to upgrade, don't worry. Last year's model is just as good. It probably runs a little better because there's less AI junk in it. Maybe, who knows? Google Pixel's new 11 model and Pro XL have less RAM than last year's. Why is that? What could possibly be the reason for that? Other than data centers, AI data centers, which Google themselves are the proprietors of, the ones pushing the envelope of the technology sector. You guys are the ones making everything expensive. You are shooting yourself in the foot, the thing that someone is actually going to buy, which is the hardware, right? We've got ourselves into this little cycle. So many people are upgrading incrementally, year by year, model by model. That's what you sell. Not Google. Google sells your information, so they're probably not too worried about it, right? This is probably a subsidized cost for Google. But Apple makes most of their money on their hardware. For now. They started putting ads in maps and junk like that. We're going to start seeing plenty of ads in Apple products. And the Android and Apple ecosystems are just going to be little shitty mirror images of each other. We're going to finish up technology here in a second, but laptops. 16 years ago, we're looking at a MacBook Retina 12-inch. Looks pretty damn similar to what they're making today. I don't think that there has been any kind of momentous leap in the processing power. There's more. But I'll tell you what, as long as you can get parts for this MacBook, probably working just fine for somebody. I went to Best Buy and checked out the newest and latest and greatest, right? The Neo, the MacBook Pro, and I'm not going to buy any of these devices, right? I've owned one Mac product, and that was enough for me to know that I'm good. Thank you. But besides power, it's the same device. It does the same thing. You're gonna be watching YouTube. You're gonna be emailing your doctor and telling them about your fungus issues and what have you. They're not doing much different. The only reason why you have to get a new device at all is because they're not selling you parts for them, and they're creating products that are expensive to run as far as processing power goes. Okay, all this AI junk, all the embedded ads and stuff. You've seen how difficult it is to navigate the modern internet. The bandwidth has to be greater and the speeds have to be greater because you got to load up. What are we doing? You got to load up 20 ads for diaper cream and scam products and dentures before you even get to see the opening time for your favorite restaurant. Now, I know I'm not going to make a big list again. I'm going to continuously make big lists about what's going wrong and why. Why is tech going insane? Let's answer that question right now. Here's my thesis. There's nothing left to innovate. What we have right now is as good as it's going to get. Moore's law is dead. We're not making the leaps and bounds that we once were in integrated circuit technology. Couple that with the fact that any product that would be actually useful to you and I wouldn't be very profitable now, would it? Right? Something that lasted a long time. Something that got out of your way to let you do your business. Something that you only had to pay for once. These things wouldn't make Apple, Google, Huawei, Samsung very much money in the end. And instead of just fixing the bugs in the software that we use day to day, right? Far gone are the days where the iPhone is this perfect machine that works every time. I mean, that's where it gets its reputation, right? Well, it's iPhone. It just works. I've experienced so many bugs on the iPad OS platform, the iPhone platform. Everything's buggy. Windows is buggy. Android is buggy. The software for your toaster is extremely buggy. Why do you think it is that tech companies want your data so badly? Why is it so valuable? Well, we know it's for advertising. We know that little Jimmy and his search history can be plugged in to so-and-so's marketing platform, and they can tell you just what little Jimmy wants for Christmas and just what he's going to ask his mom and dad for Christmas. How else do you explain the pivot? How else do you explain the pivot to software as a service, service as a service, hardware as a service? Because there's nothing left for the tech industry to give us. The innovation is dried up, and it's far easier for everyone to just gamble on AI right now. It is way easier. It is way easier for these companies to dump all the money into AI, advertisements, and software as a service, because if they do not, they run the risk of being honest with themselves. If AI does not work out, right? If we've gone way too ham, way too fast on AI, period. There's a bubble, and the only thing we can debate about now about that bubble is how big it is and how bad it's going to be when it finally pops. I hope that it's a slow deflation, just a wet fart slowly squeezing out of the tech sphincter. And I'm sure at some point there was a genuine belief that, this and there are uses for it. I'm not gonna sit here and say that there's not a use for LLMs. I've tried to find my own. I struggle personally, but I know people who use it quite often, right? But for everyone to be putting their retirement into these insane companies like Anthropic and OpenAI, like OpenAI especially, it's scary. It's very scary. And these tech companies are also scared. I guarantee you. Bust out the handy dandy little notebook here. Is AI profitable yet? No. Everyone's doing pretty bad, but you know who's not? Nvidia. The guy selling the goods. The guy selling the goods. Everyone else. Amazon. $309 billion in the hole. And it just keeps on going down. $277 billion from Google. You know where Google got their money? Your information. It's been like 6 years of this shit, guys. It's getting real scary. It's been 6 years of us sitting here just dumping money into that coal chamber. It's ridiculous. The point of the technology was supposed to be to make our lives easier, to make things quicker for us, to make things simpler for us, to connect people to each other, to connect people to new places, to places they may never go in the real world. Increase manufacturing, fantastic. Don't you think we've done that? I'm sitting here talking to you on a very cheap, decent quality webcam. I can sit at this desk and play a game with my friends. I can play a game by myself. I can record music. I can make these videos. I could do some research. I could do some homework. I could start a business What is there that I can't do? What am I limited by at this point? There isn't going to be a flying car. I don't even see the point of a talking car. What is the car going to tell me? Am I going to have a therapy session with my car while it feeds all my information to its daddy? What is my toaster supposed to be doing right now? Nothing. It's not even plugged in. It's not supposed to sit there plugged in. It's not supposed to connect to the internet. What does the fridge need to do? Who's really getting recipes off their fridge? And is that necessary when you already bought the little home Nest tablet that you set next to your stove so it could tell you how to do recipes, right? The fridge is supposed to remind me that it's empty. I know it's empty. I went in there to check. There's nothing in there. I got to go grocery shopping. And if I need a computer to tell me that I'm hungry and I don't have any way to fix it, we got a real problem. We're going to stick with the North American United States theme here because that's where I'm from and that's what's most relevant to me. I'm sure there are plenty of examples of this kind of shit going on across the globe. Space travel. Oh, you say that's gotta be the thing, right? We're going to have AI and it's going to solve all our problems and it's going to cure cancer. It's going to do wonderful things, okay? Then we're going to take it to Mars. Let's go off this planet. We screwed this one up enough. Space travel is such a waste of resources. And I don't want to hear about the innovations like the ballpoint pen and all these fantastical things that we got from NASA. Great. SpaceX does not create a product that is going to serve humanity in any way. And Elon Musk is lying to every single one of you, trying to tell you that it will. Not to mention, how are we going to make money by going to Mars? Right? Everything's about money. It's all got to be money in the United States, doesn't it? I didn't show it there, but it's a $1.83 trillion valuation, and some sources like Ed Zitron handily provided us some insider information that some of these trading platforms were trying to value it at $5 trillion, right? For what? What value is it going to bring to the average person? If someone goes up to Mars today, which they're not going to, at least not for a hot 20, 30 year minute. I don't even think we're there at that point. I think this whole thing fizzles out before we even get halfway there, let alone the people who are going to die trying. We're going to colonize Mars. For what purpose? For what purpose? We've already done so poorly here. Why drag it out any longer up there? Elon Musk is a serial liar. He's, in my opinion, provable, but for the purposes of this video, the guy tells you it's going to be 5 years, 10 years ago. It ain't happening, and it's not useful if it does. Okay? We're funneling money into these people. Then, and when I say we, I'm talking about you. If you have a 401k, if you have any kind of retirement plan, chances are your money is being bet into these gigantic money pools. And what happens to your money when it gets figured out? When it gets figured out that this shit's useless. Our lives are hanging in the balance of this hope. Of this hope that it's all gonna pan out. The next big thing is coming. Well, we're not there yet. We don't have the technology. We are slowing down to a glacial pace of innovation. Things that would matter to invest in as people, as a community, are completely overlooked. I just wanted to drop this cute little dealio over here. We still haven't figured out how we're going to survive the amount of radiation that exists on Mars. The amount of time that would need to be spent to keep you alive, right? Just maintaining long-term body function in space is, you're probably going to be spending 3/4 of your time just trying to stay alive up there, let alone getting anything done. Who's going to go out and mine? Well, that guy can go out there for about 10 minutes, according to this. Well, no, now that I think about it, it's Elon Musk, so he's probably just going to kick people out into space. Good luck. Let me know how it goes. Switching gears one more time. Insurance. Ironically, this is a Tesla article, but the same idea applies to all EVs and even a lot of internal combustion engine cars nowadays. They're way too complicated, and even that's not such a big deal. It can be complicated, right? It can be engineered. That's what we have. This again, we talk about the technology. We're speeding things up. We're cramming all kinds of of tech into a small space. How do I do that? We're cramming everything into a small space, all kinds of features, bells and whistles, fantastic. But the problem is getting parts for these things. Try and get parts for a Tesla, a Rivian, any number of electric vehicles. You could probably get one. You could probably get some replacement parts for a Nissan Leaf, maybe. Insurance companies are dropping Teslas and other EVs. Dropping Teslas, Cybertrucks. And it's not just that they're dropping them. The cost to own them is astronomical because you can't get a simple battery replacement, a cell rebalancing, unless it's at the dealership, right? So you buy this car, you buy it used, you try and be frugal. It's a Nissan Leaf. Well, no one wants to touch that gigantic battery. No one wants to touch it with a 10-foot pole. If it got a scratch on the bottom pan, that thing's toast. It's going in the bin. It's done. Right off. Like I said, it's not just electric vehicles. Plenty of examples for the United States' best-selling. I don't know if it's still the best-selling vehicle or all around or the best. It's definitely the most sold truck. The F-150. Software update, bricked. It goes across all makes, all models. It's not happening like the plague. But the problem is that these dealers and the manufacturers don't give a fuck. They learned from COVID that they can charge twice as much and you guys are going to pay for it. And hopefully everyone learned their lesson after that. Ford makes a product. It's not designed to last. They sell it to the dealer. The dealer marks it up. You better not sell it any cheaper. And why would you if people are going to pay? So it's a poor quality product at a high price. They're not offering any repairs. You're going to go back to the dealership because your taillight got cracked and it bricked your entire ECU of your F-150 truck, right? Built Ford tough. You remember that? So no, of course, the insurance company does not want to cover you in your F-150. And if they're going to do it, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg to do so. They're not building the cheap truck that I had when I was 16 years old. Little Ford Ranger, 4-cylinder stick shift, vinyl seats. Oh, an actual work truck. It's not. Where are you going to find that? Who's selling that now? A truck that's going to last, that you can beat up, not care of, and it's still going to turn on and take you to work the next day. It's not just vehicles either. It's your house. Insurance doesn't want to cover anything because it's so damn expensive. Too big a risk. California wildfires, Florida hurricanes. It's not profitable for them to insure you in your Florida McMansion. We're going to kind of jump through the rest of this, just you and I. We've talked about the reasons why some of these companies are going insane. Sony's dropping physical media. The iPhones are getting more expensive. The Pixels are getting more expensive and getting less features and RAM, or offering AI features, what have you. And the second part of this is there's nobody left to sell to. Nobody can afford their rent, their gas, their insurance, their computer, their phone. And some of it's for the reasons mentioned before. AI, greed, betting the whole farm on one thing, the growth at all costs. And how do we end up here? How did we go from the post-war era boom to this, to people's dreams not being buying 2 houses and using one as a vacation home or a rental and getting a boat and going on vacations and having a great time, start a business? Most of us are just trying to figure out, how do you buy one house? Some of us are trying to figure out, how do I make rent? How do we go from the land of excess and the land of opportunity to what is swiftly becoming a corporate controlled surveillance state that you are just going to struggle so hard, be so preoccupied keeping you and yours fed, that you don't have time to look at any of this. You don't have time to pay attention to any of it. That's how we've gotten here. How we've gotten here is these businesses have sent all your jobs overseas, right? And there's nothing wrong with people overseas. But the problem is the folks overseas are still investing in themselves. They're creating the industry. They're creating the facilities. They're creating the knowledge. They are driving the innovation. Eastern countries have the infrastructure and knowledge that the United States forfeited. We used to have chip plants here. We have a couple now. It is a huge industry in the East. and it is only growing. They have the resources to do it. They have the people to do it. They have the education systems to push people through. And the saddest part about it is the business that's going to take an American's job and send it elsewhere, right? Which those people need jobs too. There's nothing to replace it with here. What does the United States have to offer the rest of the world? We're really good at policing the globe, aren't we? We're really good at getting our hands dirty and messy in everyone else's business. But you know what we really, really like doing the most is getting everyone's data. All these companies that we looked at are the most highly valued companies in the United States, based in the United States. And even that's leaving. Countries in the European Union are dropping Microsoft, dropping American companies because of how predatory they are, right? The last thing that we have, right? These services that Americans are offering. We're not producing anything for ourselves. We're not making things less expensive for ourselves. We're not investing in infrastructure or railways or anything that's actually going to help us, the individuals. We've got that dirty Windows 11, baby. And to take a term from Ed Zitron, the business idiot is going to tell you that the right wing or the left wing is the one that sold you out, right? They're the ones that set the legislation, and they let it all go for you, right? Blame that politician when the business is the one that was sitting there putting money in his pocket to do so. And then you go and talk to the politician, Mr. Politician, why'd you let this happen? Well, I didn't let it happen. It was the right or the left or the middle. It was this other guy. That's why you should have voted for me, or you should have voted for him. And then you voted wrong. It's your fault. The business that sent your job off is going to tell you that you're the one that wasn't providing enough value and you were too expensive because of the products that they made that they wanted to extract as much value as possible from. The infrastructure, the manufacturing only got easier with the advent of technology. And they're going to tell you that you weren't providing a good enough service, a good enough product, so they had to send it elsewhere for someone that could do it for cheaper. And the politician's going to tell you that you voted wrong. Your friends and neighbors are going to squabble about who was right, who was left, well, what economy was good under who. Our government does not invest in us. These businesses that are throwing jobs away and throwing money into the fire are not invested in us at all. Somebody's got to be on your side, and it's probably just going to have to be you. I don't know where to go from here. I'm bringing the two issues to you. I don't have the solution. I can tell you to vote. I can tell you to vote with your wallet. I can show you the Consumer Rights Wiki. I can tell you to stock up on rice and beans and try and hold on to your stuff. Don't believe a politician. Don't believe a guy like Elon Musk. Satya Nadella. Demand more. Because you deserve more than this. Because if you don't, you will just be the product. You will just be the consumer. And you will not be a deciding factor in your own life. Until next time.